There is a material stronger than steel, and a spider spins it from its own body every single night. We tend to think of spider webs as flimsy things, brushed away with a single wave of the hand. But the thread they are woven from is one of the most remarkable materials in the entire natural world. Pound for pound, some spider silk can rival or even outmatch high-grade steel in strength. And it is tougher than almost anything we have ever engineered, able to soak up enormous energy without snapping. A spider builds this miracle fiber at ordinary temperature, using nothing but water and protein. We have split the atom and sent machines beyond the solar system. Yet, we still cannot fully copy what a spider does before breakfast. To understand why, we have to look closely at the thread itself. Take the single line a spider hangs from, the one it uses to drop gently through the air. This is called dragline silk, and it serves as the spider's lifeline and safety rope. It is spun as a solid strand, only a few thousandths of a millimeter across, far finer than a human hair. Its tensile strength, the pull it can withstand before breaking, is comparable to that of steel. But steel is heavy, and silk is extraordinarily light, so for the same weight, the silk wins with ease. Strength alone, though, is not what makes this thread so special. The real magic lies in a quality that engineers call toughness. Toughness is how much energy a material can absorb before it finally gives way. A fiber can be strong yet brittle, snapping the instant it is overloaded, much like glass. Spider silk is both strong and stretchy, and that rare combination lets it swallow a tremendous shock. Some spider silk is tougher than Kevlar, the very material used in bullet-resistant vests. That is why a flying insect can slam into a web and be caught instead of tearing straight through it. Here is something most people never realize. A spider does not make just one kind of silk. A single spider can produce several completely different silks, each shaped for its own purpose. Inside its body sit separate silk glands, and each one works like a tiny chemical factory. One gland spins the strong dragline used for the frame of the web and the safety line. Another produces a soft, elastic thread for the spiral that actually catches the prey. A different gland makes a fine silk for wrapping captured insects, binding them like a parcel. Yet another spins the tough, protective silk used to weave an egg sac to shelter the young. There is even a special glue laid down in tiny droplets that makes certain threads sticky. A spider, in effect, carries an entire materials laboratory tucked inside its abdomen. Perhaps the strangest part of all is how the silk is actually made. Inside the gland, the silk does not exist as a thread at all, but as a liquid. It is a thick, watery gel of proteins, folded and dissolved, waiting quietly to be used. As the spider draws this liquid out through tiny nozzles called spinnerets, everything changes. The pulling and stretching lines up the protein molecules neatly along the length of the thread. The acidity shifts, water is drawn away, and the proteins lock together into a solid fiber. In a fraction of a second, a flowing liquid becomes a strong, dry, and durable thread. And the spider does all of this gently in the open air with no heat and no harsh chemicals. Our own factories often need fierce heat, crushing pressure, or toxic solvents to make strong fibers. A spider simply pulls, and the transformation happens right there on the breeze. Now watch how a spider turns these many threads into a single, elegant trap. It begins by casting out one line, often letting a gentle breeze carry it across a gap. Once that first bridge is anchored, it builds a frame and lays down spokes, like the rim of a wheel. These support lines are made from the strong, stiff dragline silk we met earlier. Then, spiraling slowly inward, it lays the capture thread, a very different kind of silk. This spiral is stretchy and coated with beads of glue, ready to seize whatever flies in. Some capture threads can stretch to several times their length before they ever break. So when an insect strikes the web, the thread stretches and springs, absorbing the blow instead of tearing. The prey is held fast, while the spider reads the trembling of the lines like an incoming phone call. And when the day is done, many spiders simply eat their old web, recycling the precious protein. To see how far this material can truly be pushed, travel to the rivers of Madagascar. There lives a small creature known as Darwin's bark spider, and it holds an astonishing record. Its silk is the toughest biological material ever measured, tougher than any other silk we know. Using it, this modest spider spins the largest orb webs found anywhere on Earth. It can fling a single anchoring line clear across an entire river or fast-flowing stream. From that long bridge, it hangs a web that can be larger than a doorway, suspended above the water. Insects following the river are funneled straight into this giant, nearly invisible net. Thread finer than a hair, holding a web the size of a window strung across a river. Made by an animal you could rest on a fingertip. Faced with a material this good, humans have naturally tried to farm it for themselves. But spiders will not cooperate the patient way silkworms do. They are territorial and often eat one another, so you simply cannot raise them in crowded farms. So scientists have taken a cleverer path, borrowing the spider's genetic recipe instead. They have placed spider silk genes into bacteria, yeast, and even other creatures to brew the proteins in tanks. Slowly, we are learning to spin these proteins into fibers for sutures, tough fabrics, and medical implants. A material grown without pollution, strong and light, and able to melt back into the earth when its work is done. And it all began with a thread a spider has been quietly perfecting for hundreds of millions of years. So the next time you walk through a web and feel it cling softly to your skin, pause for just a moment. You have brushed against one of the finest pieces of engineering on the planet, spun by a tiny creature with no factory at all. Follow Worth Knowing for more things worth knowing.